What's up, YouTube? Quick video. This is Jackson Js-11. I just got in, brand spanking new. And I must say, guys, wow. I got a really good deal on it. I'm not going to throw no prices out there, but I buy a lot of guitars from certain people, and periodically I get super good deals from them. And this is one of them. I mean, I tell you right now, them frets are shiny. Wow. I mean, they're highly, highly polished. And there is no fret sprout. Them frets are done really well. The paint job is excellent. The pockets are cut well. I mean, it's got a nice cutout right there in the back. I mean, just exceptional. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, they did a really good job. And this is a Jackson. Not to say that Jacksons are bad, but oh my God, I mean, the neck feels good. Nice slim taper. I mean, it feels great. I mean, nuts cut well. No tinging. I mean, they did a nice job. Action's good. I mean, what can I say? I paid under $200 for the guitar. I'll tell you that much. And anybody that can get a guitar that's well made like this. Now, I don't particularly know how it sounds yet because I haven't plugged it in. That doesn't matter to me because most of my guitars I either put, unless it's a collectible guitar, I'll put either Seymour Duncans in it or bare knuckles, or I'll have some people that I know make, wind me up some custom pickups for it. So that's not a problem, And the same thing with the potentiometers. I mean, you can put Burns in there. You can put CTS in there. There's some really good Korean potentiometers out there, So that's not really that big a deal. Well, you spend an extra $120 and pop them in, and it's ready to go. Action's good. Frets are good. Machine heads work good. The tremolo system seems to work properly. I mean, so when you're looking at buying a guitar, a lot of guys buy them Chinese guitars, which this is made in China too. But I'm talking about off-brand names that don't have Jackson or Fender or LTD or something like that. But I'm talking leader name guitars. You should be checking out some of these too. I mean, they might just be what you want. These are fast rock machines, right? These have fast necks. If you can pick these up, you might be wanting to look at some of these brand names, the leader names. I mean, for God's sakes, Fender owns a company. I mean, they can afford to do it, because they're building these probably in the hundreds of thousands, at least 10,000 in a whack. And that's how they can get the price down. So, I mean, take a look at these. Once again, this is Jackson Js-11. Just a little short video. I just pulled it out of the box right there. I mean, man, that's super nice. Can't go wrong. Yep, I'm impressed. I am impressed. They're keeping up with the quality. Alright guys, just a little short video. I'm not going into depth. No, I'm not measuring the neck, and I'm not measuring the nut distance, and what it is at the first fret, what it is at the 12th fret, what it is at the... I don't get into all that. I find it to be nonsense myself. I guess if you want to watch somebody's video and hear them laughing and telling jokes and giving all these measurements, look, if you're going to replace a neck, I can see it. Hey, You know, if you want to replace a neck, here's the measurements if you need to replace a neck. But here's the thing. Every guitar is going to feel a little bit different, right? And somebody telling you that information, if you're not familiar with what they're really talking about, you can hear them tell you it a billion times, but until you put a rig in your hands and you actually play it and you feel it, how are you going to know if it's going to fit you or not? You know? How do you know if it's going to neck dive? You know? I mean, look, I don't play into all of that. I mean, I have the tools to do that, but the only reason that I have the tools to do things like that is in case somebody says, oh, you know, I broke my neck. I needed, you know, the neck replaced. I want to get a new neck. Well, if I'm going to search for a neck for him, or if I'm going to dig through some of my stuff that I got, or if he wants me to make him a new neck, or her a new neck, then I have to know those measurements. You know, what it is at the heel, how the depth that it goes into the body of the heel, if it's a bolt-on, or if it's a glue-in. I have to know all those things. The thickness of the fretboard, how deep does it go down into the base of the neck for the truss rod, how long is the truss rod, right? How far does the truss rod stick on the inside from the nut back, right? Or just the opposite, right? It may be adjusted at the heel. So I have to know all of those things. But for a common person, I really don't know why they do that. Maybe it adds to the spice of buying a guitar. I have no clue. But I will tell you what's important. When you look at that nut, and make sure that that nut is cut correctly. And that you know what size strings you got on it. You got to remember, generally you can go up one size and down one size from whatever the size of the strings is that you have on it. But to properly do it, if this nut is cut for 9s and you're going to go to 10s, then you should have some adjustment made in your nut. You can do it, but the proper way, when you build a guitar, right? So if I built this guitar, I cut this nut for the size of the strings that are going across it, and I give it a little bit of leeway. And the reason why I do that is so that if a person decided that they wanted to go up a gauge or down a gauge, you can do that without having to worry about changing the nut. The proper way of doing it is cut the nut for the gauge of the strings that's going to go on it. That's the proper way. So that's the only reason why I would need those technical specs, you know, the numbers. And that way, if I was copying it, I have, you know, a gauge that I can run that through until I get to the taper that it needs to be for the individual that I'm fixing or building a neck for. So I just don't, I'm sorry guys, I just don't get into all of that. I don't find a necessity in it. I don't know. I guess it, like I said, maybe it adds to the excitement of it, or giving people over information, or maybe people who are technical people who, you know, find happiness in knowing them technical specs. Is it a necessity? No. Is feeling and playing the guitar? Yes. Is the weight? Yes, absolutely, because some people don't want some big old heavy rig. Other people don't mind the heavy rig, you know. Some people like little thin straps. Some people play with no straps. Some people play with specific types of straps, right? You got to make sure that everything is fitting what you want to do. You know, you can't, if you're first starting out, look, I say just go play a bunch of guitars until you feel what you like. And then once you feel what you like, If it's, if it's a thin taper like this, a fast neck, rocker guitar, probably, I mean, there's a few different people. ESP, LTD, Jackson, Ibanez, they got fast necks. So you check out those types if that's the type of neck that feels comfortable in your hand. If you like a big bulky neck, go with a 58 Les Paul. They got some fat baseball necks on them. If you want something, a little smaller, then you go to the 59. If you want something a little bit different than that, then, late 59s into 60. They're a little bit different too. 1960s, they have a nice, I would say, comfortable neck. If you've got small hands. So, but that's me. It might not be for everybody. So if you're first starting out and you want to learn about guitars and you want to learn about what you want and you're having a hard time, just go some places and play some. That's what I say. Go to, Guitar Center or whatever, local mom and pop shop that's selling guitars, Try them out. Feel them out. And ask people questions. Why do you play that specific model? Why do you play it? And just listen to them. Doesn't mean that you have to go off of somebody else's information, but the more information that you have in anything that you do in life, right, gives you a better scope of really, what you're looking for. Some people just play guitars that their favorite artists play. Well, got to remember, them favorite artists have a lot of talent. So if you're trying to sound exactly like them, you're never going to do it. You might come close. But if they created it, they're going to probably have a lot of variations of the way that they play specific songs. I've met a lot of professional musicians over the years and gigged with them, did setups for them. And from one night to the next night, or one weekend to the next weekend, you'd hear them play different variations of the same song. And you'd be like scratching your head going, oh, you didn't play it that way the other night. That's just how they're feeling. So, that's why I say, be yourself. Learn. And don't worry if it sounds bad. Look, does not matter. You got to start somewhere. And just keep chugging at it. Keep practicing at it. Right? Learn different techniques, different fingering styles. Right? Know what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to jam in your basement and make lots of noise, hey, do it. Have fun. Enjoy life. That's what it's about. Guitars are so much fun, but boy, they can get expensive. And boy, it can be just, it's like you're never happy sometimes when you buy something. You're happy with it for a while. You got that little bit of joy. And then when the joy runs out, it just sits in the corner and gets dust. And then I see a lot of guys, they buy the lower end ones and they hot rod them. And then they wonder to themselves why it doesn't sound like something that they're actually trying to be. That's because it's not built by that company. It's not built with their machines. It's not built with the woods that they sourced out or the different types of, metals and properties that they use. Look, these guys have got it down to a science. Especially when you get into guys like Paul Reed Smith. I mean, he's a very articulate person, right? He's one of them luthiers that is just on another level. And he's constantly trying to push the envelope to the next level. And I love it. Because there's not many big names, and he's one of the big three, right? That are still alive. You got Grover Jackson, who designed this, right? You got Grover Jackson, he's still alive. He's designed a lot of great guitars. You got Paul Reed Smith. There's not a whole lot left. Guy who started Gibson, gone. Guy who started Fender, gone. But Paul, he's still around, kicking, funny. He's a hoot. He is a ball buster too. But from a technical point of view, man, he's smart. He's on it. He lives it. He breathes it. And he's put in the time. And he deserves to be where he's at today. So, when you buy a Paul Reed Smith, I have never bought a Paul Reed Smith that I didn't like. Maybe some of the pickups wasn't the greatest, but I didn't buy the top notch. But they were all real playable. I had no problem. The only problem that I ever had on any one of my Paul Reed Smiths was my $5,000 McCarty that I bought. It was custom made. And for some reason, the finish was coming off the neck, and I don't know why. And you know what? I sent it back. They fixed it, sent it back to me. Haven't had any issues since. Who knows why it happened? I wasn't mad at them. They fixed it right away. I was happy about it. When you buy these kind of guitars and you pay less than $200 and it comes in like this, consider yourself lucky. And you got a great deal. Especially a leader name. You put a nice set of Seymour Duncans in this baby. And I don't even have to hear these pickups. Right? I just have a particular sound, and I know that Seymour Duncan makes the type of pickups that I like to listen to, me particularly. I drop them in there, leave them potentiometers in there, see how it sounds. If it doesn't sound good with the potentiometers, yank them pots out, and I'll put some CTS or Burns in there, and it'll be fine. Ready to rock and roll for, less than $350. And I got a really good machine. And if anything happens to it, or you break it, or you chip it, or you bang it, you ain't crying about it, right? Now, when you get into buying guitars to collect, or you're worrying that one day that, you're worrying about the resale name, if it has a leader name, it's going to be easier to sell most of the time. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing stuff. Those leader names carry weight. They really do, guys. So, anyway, this is the Js-11. I'm not sure of exactly what the batch number was. Let me look over here real quick. Let's see. I don't see the batch number. No, I don't see it, guys. Sorry. I was going to try to get you a batch number off of this. But I don't have one. Anyways, this one here came right out of Nashville. So, and I know that the people that I purchased it from, which because of the price I'm not going to divulge any of that information, but I know that they already checked it out. And they knew I was probably going to do a review, but I don't think they did those frets and everything just because I was going to do a review. Not for that price. I wouldn't have a guy take it out of the box myself. But, yeah, so the gems are out there. But, the turds are out there too. So look around, see what you can find. Hunt around for the best deal. And maybe you'll find one just as nice as this one. A few things that I'll do to it. Like I said, I'll probably change the pickups out. If I do decide to keep it. Probably change the pots out. That's it. Won't need to do nothing else. I might block that because, I'm not really into the tremolo myself. So I might just put a block in there, block it out if I'm going to keep it. But if I'm just going to put it up, put it back in the box and put it away, then I won't do nothing to it. I'll probably just oil the fretboard a little bit and then pack it back up. And a lot of my guitars end up that way because I like guitars. And I have a lot of them. Good God. So, alright guys, take care. God bless. I just want to run this by you. I know, yak, yak, yak. Cry, moan, bitch. But hope you found this insightful. If you're looking for a specific type of guitar and you want some insight, hey, I'll give you some insight, man. But I'm telling you, best thing to do is pick it up and play it. Put it in your hand. That's the only way you're going to know if you really like it or not. Don't go by the looks of a guitar. Go by the feel of a guitar and the sound of a guitar. I've seen some of the ugliest guitars in the world, but man, do they play sweet. I mean, had a guy come into the shop one day. He says, "Oh, I need you to put some strings on this." I looked at the guitar. I was like, "Good God, man, what did you do to that thing?" Play it all the time. I said, "All right. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this." I said, "I'll just restring it for you." I restring it, plugged it in because, I had to play it. I was like, wow, sounds really good. So, don't judge a book by its cover, I guess. All right, guys, take care. God bless. Have a good weekend. It's Pastor Bob. I'm out of here. See ya.